Hi, Sam Torpor, Sound of Joy Music Services, and we want to thank those who are coming in on our chat. How you doing, Sub Zero? And of course, those that will be seeing this replay. We are still working out the kinks in the StreamYard software. So I thought I would go live and do an actual. I won't call it a viewer request, but it was a viewer concern about in my breakdowns of songs when I play the final piece to sort of bring the song together. They were concerned with the speed of which I was doing runs or add-ons, I like to call it, to a song, which are not necessarily part of the song, but they give that little extra oomph. So I did do a an actual DVD years ago. I actually pulled it out to see if I could go into that actual DVD, and I called it Chords, Patterns, and Runs, where I actually broke down my version of how you could put that all together. And it was such an old production. Video quality was horrible compared to what I have now. And even the keyboard was and the sound was just terrible. So I said I may as well do it live, trying to keep the quality up or always to increase it. So I'm going to do an abbreviated version. Again, we're still testing the software. It did crash on us yesterday with some things we were trying to make it do. I actually had to go back to OBS to do something. But we'll try this live, and you'll get an updated version with the new look of my interpretation of using chords, patterns, and runs, especially in gospel piano music. Now, I have no particular key, so the Chordy app will be on C at all times. And I have no particular song, so I may go to a hymn, a spiritual, something that I could give an actual demonstration to the understanding. But first, you have to know how I practice those. So let's change our scene. Let's make sure that this comes out all right. All right, this came out okay. So let me get a little comfortable here. My chair does slip. So when I practice, um, I don't just verifying that the signal is coming in okay. All right, so we are live. When I practice runs, they are offshoots of practicing major and minor scales. I don't do the jazz scales. As I said, I'm not a jazz musician, but I will hear a jazz lick and I will look to see what fingering did they use to be able to do that. In my uh, past, I have practiced, I believe it was Jordan Rules who had put down scale practices he would do back in the old MIDI days. I don't have that MIDI file available anymore, but I was trying to remember. I even tried to make a video of what I used to do to help build up my finger dexterity to playing licks, you might say, through the use of different scales, and my fingers got tired. And I said, gee, I remember this now when I would try these, how tired my fingers would get, which means I need to go back and exercise those. So I will give you an offshoot of what I like to do. So when I talk about chords, key of C, playing chords is commonplace to playing a run. A run has to be able to sit underneath a chord. One way, one way, the other way. Staccato, legato, doubled. So you have got to have the actual finger strength to imagine a run, number one, and find a placement for it. It's more than just coloring up a song with a run. It has to have a starting place and a spot to end. So if we were doing yes, let's go with "Oh How I Love Jesus" in the key of C. Where do I want to start it? Now, those are all runs that I'm doing that are part of an actual scale. Broken in some cases, sloppy in a lot of cases, because I really haven't planned this one out. But I wanted to give understanding so that the viewer who had the concern about, well, why don't I slow down the runs when I'm playing? Because generally when I'm playing, I don't know when I'm going to insert a run, but I have practiced them to know that if I'm going to go again, "Oh How I Love Jesus," let me see, G, that is considered a run. Just a chord broken up. That grace note. If you don't have this finger speed and to be able to drop your fingers right across that note, those are exercises I would do that build up strength. Switching fingers. Let's change the view here. There we go. As you can see, I'm changing fingers. So that they're all getting exercise. Yeah, I've done that while in a way. That's the whole chord within the scale. Let me see if I can now slow it down in the song. Starts on the 5. Oh, there is a name I love to hear. There's a run after a chord, a pattern. Another run. Another run. Chord. Another run. Another run. Chord. Chords. 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 Run. Run. Another run. Chord. So it is not something that is planned. It is injected in. It's like if you're cooking a meal and you reach over and you just grab an extra bit of pepper, something to actually spice up what you're doing. Now, it's apropos to put it in any key. If I'm on now, generally whenever I go to D flat, C sharp, I'll be in C, and then I just change the chord and then just do a run. That's a run, but it's the scales. I'm trying not to hit the sustain pedal. There's another viewer concern that I hold the sustain pedal too long and you can't see the notes. And I say, well, I hold the sustain pedal because that's the only way on a piano you can hold a chord and lift your hands up, let the chord remain before what's the word I want to use, before it lessens, but you can get more notes in there. So I've got to plan a lesson, viewer based, of course, on sustain pedal use. Now, playing up in the upper registers is just a matter of practicing scales. You have to have the ability to jump keys. And know where you want to end. Again, it's where you start, depending upon where you end. Same run, but because I'm changing the chords and the patterns of those chords. Yes, and I believe the viewer who requested this is on live. So I'm not trying to out you, but I'm trying to, in testing my new software, give you the understanding of why it would be difficult for me when I do play a song in a lesson to slow down the run because I never know when I want to put it in. If I was doing and I'll probably get flagged for this, total praise. Because I practice particular finger movement. There it is. That's my scale path, which means I can practice. I can, from just practicing, be able to speed up the movement of my hands. But now that a run is really only, it's just the icing on a musical cake. Diminish. You can consider this a run also. It's a chord, but you can hit the single notes and it becomes a run. The practice of scales and chromatically builds your hands for number one, accuracy, syncopation, and runs. Fred Hammond's Glory to Glory. That only comes from practice. Yes, you can run with the left hand. In my practicing days, Mr. Atkiss, do you pick runs from your feet or from theory? There are some who teach theory like pentatonic and likewise. Well, The run is a offshoot of a scaled chord. A scaled chord. From this minor scale in F, your run is going to come from those notes primarily, but not necessarily all the time. You can go outside of it. If I'm in F, runs you're going to hear in jazz. There it is. That is I don't know the name of the song, so you have to forgive me there. But I've learned the application of it. That one set of notes is a run. Stays the same. So that one set of notes changes when you change the bass or the chords beneath it, which is why I always looked at runs as being part of a chord, a pattern, and then you go and you find and you assign whatever run that you have in your memory banks or that you have practiced. I've done this. And knowing that in that pattern of notes, I can go find, let me see. If I'm in a minor, if I'm in the key of C, because those notes are jazz runs following a pattern, and I just find the jazz. So if I'm playing for a preacher, there it is. And gotta hold it. Gotta hold that bass note on the bottom. So it's all about how well you have trained your hands to respond to thought. High, middle, low. If you haven't got to that point where you can pick and choose where you want chords to be, here, 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 then it's going to be more difficult when you hear somebody play it unless you can get inside of their brain. And I try to give as much of my thought process whenever I'm showing a song breakdown, how I will find the scale of the song first, find the chords in the songs, the basic chords, the chords the song is using, and then add a run. Because is a run appropriate to every gospel song? Yes. Again, would you add salt to cornflakes? No. But you would add salt in some cases to grits, as some people say, or some say you would add sugar, depending upon your taste. So it becomes upon the taste of the person who is playing. I've often said when you hear a singer sing, they're either going to sing from their training or from their feeling. And generally, I'll say in the African American church, they're 90% feeling for most of the singers. Whenever a classical singer sings a gospel song, it's usually a spiritual because they're singing from their training. And as a musician, it's the same thing. Are you playing from your training or playing from what you feel? Some folks say that if you play that with feeling, that you're anointed. And I say you're playing just two notes. But if you can interpret where you want those notes to go in the context of a song, then you're playing with talent. So when you learn the various modes, the jazz modes, and you can apply that to gospel music, all you're doing is you're adding a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of spice to what you're playing. But everything, of course, within moderation. I tend to try to keep it as plain as possible, even when I'm playing a song. If I'm in the key of go to B flat, you will get this run from me. It's a jazz chord, but you'll get the run first because I know how to form my fingers and let them fall. But it'll always end in a chord. Nice jazz. 2, 5, 1. But it sounds so much prettier when you go chord, pattern, run, and end on a chord. Run. So patterns, chord, run, or an arpeggiated run, which is like a classical run. Not a jazz run. Both can be used, but it's a matter of, do you practice this? For at least 20 minutes a day when I was a youngster, I would practice chromatic runs, both hands, up and down, and then change up. See, I haven't done this in so long. And change keys. Because this is all building up my hands, building up my ability to look at a key, go A flat, C sharp, F sharp, B major, D, G, F, C, B major, E, A, D, G. What have I left out? E flat, F sharp. I should be able to see a note, glance at it, see the chord I want to form, and then turn my head and play that chord and play the octaves of it, because that gives me the freedom to now be thinking, where do I want that chord to go? And finish off with a run. Now the left hand, of course, has been practicing chords also. They're the left hand chords. B flat, because I'm in a different key. To resolve to the Diminish. So there's no mystery in chords. It is practice. It is practicing with a purpose. What do you hear? Which means, have you heard someone else do a run as the viewer has requested? I forget what song I do them in all of my songs, and when I'm playing where I'm no longer teaching but just playing the song, I'm free to jump in and out of chords, melody, which is considered to be runs, a melody, and patterns. Change the patterns on the fly. It doesn't always have to go the way you hear it, especially in gospel music. I did a video a short that I shared, which is one of the songs we're going to learn. I'm on my way to heaven by the late Dr. Mattie Moss Clark, because it was one of those iconic gospel songs laden with runs. Bum, 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 bum. There it is. Runs that you're not hearing today in the current dispensation of gospel music, because it requires the musician to be a free thinker and not worried about the one, the six, the four, and the five. Don't come out of it the one, the six, the four. We are so pattern laden that in today's gospel interpretation of gospel music, we've lost that I'll call it that air of anticipation. Let me see. So it doesn't sound jazzy anymore, but it has been, I'll call it, for lack of a correct terminology, it has been educated. You're going to do this, put that seventh in there, or that nine in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, that ninth in there, or sus chord. Now, last time I did that, I got a copyright strike because someone said I was copying their song, and I just made it up on the fly. So, for those YouTubers who are watching this who said I'm stealing your music, I just made that up on the fly. I just went with chords and notes following a scale pattern, which you can't copyright chords. You can copyright melodies, though. So I have to always give that disclaimer, because I do get those notices when it gets picked up, which is why I love the gospel sound, because it's free. There is no copywriting it. Bum, bum, bum. So there you saw left hand, right hand, chords, patterns, runs. I can't really explain it any more than that. The exercises that I do help to train the hands. When the ears hear a song that has chords laden in them, it becomes easier for me. Twinkie Clark's In the Name of Jesus. Mm-mm-mm. I always get stuck on this one. Took a while to get comfortable doing that one because it really works your fingers. Bum, 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 bum. And both hands, for me, have to be able to do the same run. And you can't do it fast, slow it down. So many ways that yes, AIM. I used to attend AIM when I was a Church of God in Christ musician back in the 80s. I attended 3 of them. I saw excerpts that was live streamed from a gentleman for that session. I didn't see your question though. Tritones, I think when you have musicians try to explain a term that is thrown out there and they don't use the theory behind it, it just lends to more confusion. They say, "Oh, I can show you how I use it, but it just sounds better." It's another part of seasoning. The theory behind a tritone is you take one note, that's one. 6 semitones up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you do that first one. That is a tritone. There will always be a tritone in theory. That is the theory name given to 2 notes being played 6 semitones apart. 1, that's your first note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Play them both together. That is a tritone. Now, first of all, when I heard tritone, because I didn't have the theory behind it, I'm thinking 3 notes. How can you have a tritone with just 2 notes? The theory is what a lot of musicians, especially gospel, go by ear. In other words, they heard somebody call it that and throw a chord behind it, and they go, "Oh, well, that's a tritone chord." Well, okay, tritone is right here. That chord is right there. And when you hear musicians use it, they are using it as additional chords to what they're doing. These on my left hand, these are all tritones. 6 notes apart. Tritone right here. It's a good bottom of the chords that you're playing on your right hand to add a jazz feel. The song God is an Awesome God. There's your tritone above the notes above it. I haven't played that song in so long. There's your tritone right here. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Above the chord. Another tritone above 3 chord. There's your tritone again. He. Another tritone. Another tritone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's an added chord to help fill out a particular sound you want. And there is no secret to it. It's just knowing where you're going to place it in the key you're in. I'm in A flat now. I could do that same chord in the key of C. Hmm. There it is. There's my tritone right there. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 semitones up. It's all about knowing what it is called in theory first. Take this, secret chord stuff out of it in theory, and then where do you want to apply it? There's my tritone. There's my tritone again, built around chords. My tritone. There's my tritone, built within a chord. And now you see the run comes in. Again, a starting place, a place to go. What is it following? What's around it? You can't leave me. Don't leave me unchecked 30 feet out. I can still hit them. Can we live without tritones? Well, we're living without them now in the state of gospel music where it is now. But there's a place for them to come back because it just adds a new type of flavoring to the song. Now, can you use tritones in Mary Had a Little Lamb? Yes. I just used tritones in the melody of Mary Had a Little Lamb. I just walked them down chromatically. And yes, the tritone is a jazz terminology. There's the full chord. Now, I would consider that a tritone because we got 3 notes, but theory of jazz calls this a tritone. And it all really comes down to how would you want to apply it to whatever chords you're playing. Now, again, like seasoning, will it fit every song? Yeah, let me see. If I went to E flat, holy, holy, holy Lord God. There's my tritone, right? 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's in hymns. There's my tritone again. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. B flat. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my tritone again. and that's again, I'm going to really stress this, musicians. If you will learn hymns, you're gonna be shocked how many chords you hear in hymns that you don't know because you won't play hymns. Now I'm doing holy, holy, holy. Never looked at it for tritones because I always look for melody and chords, and the tritones are right there. As I often have said, if you want to hide chords from a musician, put them in a book. They'll never look there. Let's see, what other song? I Surrender All, key of D flat. I'm looking for the tritone. Haven't found a tritone yet. There's my tritone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the change. If I put jazz in there, I'll find one in there. There's my tritone. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, no tritone. One, two, three, four, five, six. If I put the diminished chord in there. If I put this here, there's my tritone. If I use that chord, which is a jazz chord, add a second note in there to fill it out to a diminished chord. One, two, three, four, five, six. Nothing. There's my tritone here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 above the lowest note. And there's my tritone here. My tritone here. It's like being a chef and you are cooking up a meal, cooking up a song. What do you want to add in? What tone qualities do you want in that particular song? There it is. Chromatic chords, just rocking them. Doing the scales. Just running scales, running notes as I see the chord change that I can possibly throw in accordance with the scale and the texture of the song. It gives me license, like a jazz musician, to explore. D flat, jump chords, solid chords, jazz chords. For those who count, 2, 5, 1 in G flat. My tritone is right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My tritone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. my tritone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but I've got it hidden, and it is hidden in another chord, but it's right there. Another tritone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 5, 1, 2, 5, 2. Let me see. The 2, 5, 1, 7. No, 6 sharp, 6 or flat 7. Again, all these terminologies. Flat, no, flat. Yeah, flat 7, flat 6, and back to the A flat, which is the 5. 2, 5. There's my tritone hidden in a diminished chord. I'm on the battlefield for my Lord. I think I was doing that in D flat. Without looking at the video, I couldn't tell you where I use it in the song, because when you're doing testimony type songs, it's jazz, straight jazz. Let me pull up a drum pattern, because as I say, when I'm playing and it's not in a teaching mode, it is whatever comes to mind 5 beats before I play it, which means I've practiced it. Let's see. Just a little slower. There's a run. There's the chord. Jazz. As you can see, both hands. It's all about once you've got your timing down. It's great to have an actual drum pattern to work with. Of course, it helps to give you a rhythm. Now, my rhythm can be without the drum pattern because I've used to playing without a drummer. I use my inner body as an actual rhythm. If I were to turn the rhythm off, but the rhythm makes it not nicer. Left hand's got to work by itself. What you do, get tired doing this. Didn't do this, you get tired. Much easier. Wow. So you can tell I am now getting weary. This has gone on longer than I want. But the path to doing clean runs is practicing with an actual beat. Because now I'm getting tired. My hands are getting tired because I'm thinking of all the runs I want to do and all the runs that I have done. That's what I wanted to do, but I could not work it in because I'll call it fatigue. But because I practice this all the time, even now, I still practice these runs just to keep the fingers free or to get them freer before I started working on the more difficult songs. Timothy writes, where do you stand? There it is. Those type of songs back in my day that would give a spark to the audience when they would hear that run. So you had to have practiced some fingering exercises to be able to land on those notes. Now, if I were doing this in A major, there we go. Do my eyes closed. There we go. Playing an A is like playing in C, except for the C sharp, the F sharp, and the A sharp. Right. There we go. So I hope I was able to, in this lengthy, I thought I was going to do this short as I'm testing out the new software. I will leave this up. Again, it is all about the approach, especially when you're doing gospel music. If you're looking to give a different contexture, if that's the correct word, to the sound that you are producing as the musician. You have to have the theory of music deeply embedded in you so that when you're playing any song or when you're learning a song, you just continually add. It's like a well or an actual water tank. The more water you have in that tank, the more water you can actually dispense out musically. I have music in me from when I was a child listening to cartoons on TV. That still resides in me. I'll sometimes dive back into some of that music that as a child I wanted to play so bad, but I didn't know how to go to find it, just to satisfy. I used to love to hear the Pink Panther. See. That's the one in E minor. There are those gospel chords I'm now playing but when I heard as a child, I would hear those chords and I'm like, how are they doing that? I'm trying to get the chord. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Now I'm going into my childhood, hearing those songs and finding the chords just the way just like I do right now. Hmm. Tritone in there. Uh, anyway, as I said, once you get the theory behind what you hear and understand where they're getting their notes from, minor scale, major scale, are they using tritone chords to add more flavor to the upper chords, or they're hiding the tritone in a note like this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Richard Smallwood's learning his angels watches over me help me hear those chords to that Pink Panther song. Angels watching over me. And angels. There's my tritone. My tritone right there. My tritone right there. There's my tritone there. There's my tritone. B. No, F sharp. B major. Angels watching over me. Angels watching over. Yes, music is a beautiful thing, not just to listen to, but those of us on this side of music that actually get to interpret not just the songs of others, but the songs that we write. I'm going to bring this to a close. I think I have shared quite a bit more than what I thought I was going to, but I wanted to see how well the software stood up. So far, it is hanging up okay. As you can see, I've got some screen changes here. If you heard the beginning, um, the starting soon template or the page, I have some music in the background that I wrote, some jazz music. I will be featuring different adaptations of music, not just gospel, but somewhat gospel jazz also, and some original pieces and some vocals. I've got some older vocals that I've done in the past. I may pull them out just as to give the beginning of a stream uh, some more contexture as people are logging on. I believe it's just been myself, Sub Zero, Gigi, and Sub Zero that have been here, of course, according to um, my analytics. I've been here an hour, okay, and I have 3 viewers. Not sure who the third one is, but I'm glad that you're here watching. Those who watch the restream, I took the one I did yesterday down because it was the testing stream, so we're still in test mode. I want to be able to do videos also on this, and that's what crashed. Playing a video, maybe I may have to change the bit rate of that video to keep it from crashing on this. Or perhaps this software, no, I've seen others play videos on it. I'll figure it out. There's a way, as they say, just ask the right question to the right person and they'll tell you how to do it. So for those who are watching, thank you for coming in, spending some time again with me. I will be using both formats, not this one, but the OBS format also, because that gives me some other features that I'm able to use that this one has not given me. I like the border that I have around here, but I've got to be able to bring in some images. That will be the next thing I work on. I believe you will see in this corner right here, you will see my overlay of the of my logo there, so I don't have to worry about bringing that on. But this is fun, being able to change the format and still be able to meet the needs and the request of those of you who view. So thank you again for viewing. I don't have an ending music yet, but listen in. Let's see what I can put there. Thanks for coming in. Let's see if I can slap a song on my ending soon. Take care. Sam Tober, Sound of Joy Music Service. Always good to have visitors and guests on the stream. Take care.